Hi, hello. My name is Liz, and you're watching For Booking Out Loud. Today, I'm recommending books in the own authors category. Own authors means that if you're writing a character in a marginalized group, you are an author of that same group. So if you are writing a character that is trans, the author themselves are trans. Or if you're writing a Native American's main character, you yourself as an author are Native American. Own voices is important because even when portrayals of diverse characters by a majority group author is done respectfully and accurately, it loses a lot of things from an author with an own voice could bring to the table from their lived experience. There's a lot of nuance, a lot of intricacies that honestly, if it's not lived, you don't have as a majority group identity author has, that a diverse author could bring to the table. Not to mention, it's even more important for readers to see not only characters in books, but the authors of books in themselves. So, let's get into my recommendations of books that I've recently read that have been own voices. The past couple of, weeks or months, I've read some amazing own voices books, and I just want to share and spread the recommendations around. So let's get into it. I have 5 recommendations for you, and I hope 1 or 2 will be added to your TBR. So my first recommendation book is Winter Counts by David Heska Wanbli Weiden. It is honestly a wonderful mystery thriller. It is about Virgil Wounded Knee, who lives on the Rosebud Indian Reservation in South Dakota. He is an enforcer on this reservation, which means when the law fails to protect people, he can be hired to basically seek vengeance for people who know the culprit on their reservation. And when one of the tribal council members come to him to try to basically stop drugs from coming into the reservation, he at first says no, but then these drugs sink into his family and it becomes personal. And so it's a story of Virgil trying to really rediscover his Native American roots and figure out where these drugs are coming from, how to stop them, really how to revive his tribe. And it was really good. I honestly thought the best parts about this book weren't necessarily the mystery horror, the mystery thriller parts of it, but more Virgil rediscovering who he is, being part of his tribe and the customs. It was beautifully written. Weiden grew up in an Indian reservation, a Native American reservation in South Dakota. So he truly dived in on different spiritual aspects and what he could share with the public, because a lot of stuff is actually very private to these Native American tribes. And it should be. It shouldn't be public knowledge on their sacred rites. However, he talked to different people, he saw what others shared with outsiders, and not to mention he has the lived experience of being and growing up on a Native American reservation, specifically in South Dakota. So it was a beautiful book. If you're looking for a mystery, thriller, revenge plot, this is your guy. So another book I've recently listened to on audiobook was Loveboat Taipei by Abigail Hing. It is about an 18-year-old girl just out of high school, and her parents send her from Iowa to Taiwan for the summer to study Mandarin. The program her parents specifically send her to is an elite summer camp study program that really high-level Chinese American students have been sent to for years, and she has been compared to these kids her whole life. However, she soon finds out that this program is more of a summer camp rather than a summer study program, and it's her first time away from home, and she is able to let loose and ignore her parents' rules for the first time in 18 years. This book is really a love letter to a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, coming of age. Wynne does a beautiful job incorporating finding out who you love, what you love about yourself, what you love about your culture, and what you love about your family, and really creates a summer story forever to grow up between high school and college, and allowing her to discover herself in an organic way. There is rebellion, there's young love, a love triangle. It was a really cute story, and the audiobook was phenomenal. I could not stop it for the life of me while I was listening to it, and I just wanted to keep continuing it. I highly recommend it. So my second audiobook that was phenomenal and one of the best books I think I read this past couple weeks is Homegoing by Gyasi. It was amazing, and I'm pretty late to this book because she just released a new one that I need to get my hands on. However, pick it up. Homegoing is about two half-sisters. You have Effie and Essie, and they live in Ghana in the 1800s. One ends up marrying an English general, and moves to Cape Town, while another ends up being taken into the slave trade and sold to America. Each chapter is a different generation. You follow each sister's generation going through history. You have 7 generations for each sister, and I don't know how Gyasi fits in all the knowledge that she does, and in such beautiful prose. But you have everything that happens. You have wars in Ghana, you have the fighting and the civil wars, you have the British colonization happening, and then you have the other sisters' stories going through slavery, the Jim Crow era, criminalization turning into slavery, and then you have the civil rights movement, Harlem Renaissance. It's phenomenal. And it goes all the way to the present day for both generations. And it's just really interesting how she shows these stories of how two families coming from the same place can be so different after just 2 centuries. And it's not a thick book. It's only about 300 pages, and it blows my mind just how fast I went through this, but just how much not only did I learn, but how beautiful it was. There is a reason this book is hyped, but the rich characterization in this book is beautiful. You get 1 chapter for each character, but you learn that character. You learn so much about their personality, their hopes, their dreams, what they want for the future. And then ultimately you learn their life story, and then you move on to the next generation. It is just phenomenal. And I highly suggest it if you have not picked it up yet. So the next book I want to recommend is called A Burning by Majumdar, and it was also phenomenal. This book follows 3 characters from India trying to make it from a lower class to a middle class. You have Weiden, who learns English from school, who has been studying and tutors others to make more money in order to still go to school. You have PT Sir, who is a gym teacher trying to really build his political career throughout the story. And thirdly, you have Lovely, who is trying to build her acting career. Now, all of these characters are connected in some way, but the big event that happens in this book is Heiden is accused of being a terrorist and bombing a train. She writes one Facebook post and it sends her to jail and gives her these hideous accusations. Spoiler, she didn't do it. Now, PT Sir actually was her gym teacher in school for a little bit, and she actually is one of Lovely's tutors for English. So these characters are intertwined, each of them trying to figure out this situation to get better, or to do the right thing ethically, but also to make their lives better itself. So in many senses, Burning is a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale for those who think politics have no influence in their lives, and it's really showing that no matter who you are, what your dreams and hopes are, you're going to be affected by politics one way or another. It was truly a moving book. I didn't expect it to hit me as hard as it did. And then at the end, I wouldn't say I was destroyed, but I was definitely, I was a little distraught, and there was tears. There was a couple of tears. But it was really a book about trying to give a rallying cry to the people with less power and trying to show them that they do have power. In particular, I really, really liked Heiden's and Lovely's connection and friendship. Maybe not friendship, but so much their connection and how they viewed each other, because I thought it was very complex. And I guess that's just a good way to describe this book itself, is that it's complex. It's never black or white, it's very gray. And I thought it was very curious how the author wrote each character, where you do know these three characters very well, but you never know what they're going to choose because they have a ton writing on them and their decisions itself. Highly recommend. So my most recent read is Star Daughter by Shveta Thakrar. And this one is a fantasy YA about, honestly, a beautiful idea of a story. You have a girl that is half star, half human. And as she approaches her 17th birthday, her powers as a star start going out of control. And she starts hearing the stars call to her saying, come back home, this kind of thing, like, you gotta come. Some things happen and her father gets very injured. The only thing that can save him and his life is a full star's blood, which she's only half. She cannot provide this saving liquid for him. So she decides to answer the call and go up to the heavens to try to negotiate with the stars and get this life-saving blood. What she doesn't realize is that the stars are in the middle of this huge competition, and she's chosen as her family's champion in this competition. I thought this novel was a great first novel in a series. There's a lot of Hindu mythology, Desi culture, and folklore, and I have to admit, not familiar with that, but it was wonderful seeing it in this book, and I'm just really excited to see the next installment in this series. So if you're looking for a fun YA fantasy, I would really suggest Star Daughter. So I had a pretty diverse range of books there. I had mystery thriller over there. I had a couple contemporaries. I had a YA fantasy. We're golden. Well, not really. But I hope you're able to find something that interests you and maybe add another book to your TBR in the future. So please let me know if you've read the books maybe, or if you're planning on reading one of these books. And I will see you in the future. And I will see you next time. Bye. Today, I'm recommending books by #ownauthors, who lives on the Rosebud Indian Reservation in South Dakota.